Good evening. I'd like to call the Zoning Board of Appeals for Tuesday, February 7th, 2023 to order. Will the city call the roll, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Foe.
Here.
Mr. Friedman.
Here.
Mr. Rogers.
Here.
Ms. Libet.
Present.
Mr. Havas. Ma'am, you have a quorum to conduct business.
Thank you. Are there any communications?
None at this time.
Okay, so we'll move into our public hearing. I think you've probably joined us before, but we'll basically call the case by the case number. City will read a brief description of the case. We ask the appellant to step to the podium. There's a sign-in sheet, please. Sign in with your name and address, and then also state your name and address for the record. Explain to us what you're asking for and why. Then the city will read findings of fact. We will ask you to agree with those or add any other facts at that time. We'll receive a staff recommendation, and then the board, we'll open public comment if there's anyone here from the public who wishes to speak, and then turn it over to the board to deliberate and make a decision. So will the city call the first case, please?
Case number 22-39. The appellant Allied Sign Incorporated, representing the owner McDonald's Corporation, is requesting the following from the board. Approval of 2 additional digital pre-sale menu boards. The property is located on the east side of Telegraph Road between 9 Mile and 10 Mile at 24480 Telegraph Road, Sidwell parcel 2429227-021, zoned I-1 industrial. The request is in accordance with section 8.50A, article 3, and 8.602, subsection D, article 11, chapter 99 of the Southfield City Code, more commonly known as the sign ordinance.
Great, thank you. Hi, good evening.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Bob with Allied Signs. The address I'm located at is 33650 Giftos Drive. That's Clinton Township.
Thank you.
I'm here tonight, asking the ZBA to grant a variance to allow 2 preview menu boards, sale boards. What I like to call them, though, is pre-information boards. We feel that by having these pre-information boards for the consumer waiting in the drive-through lane before they get to the actual speaker box to place their order will help them decide more faster on what they would like to order, thus increasing the turnaround time to get people in and out of the drive-through lane as fast as possible. Also, we feel that it'll increase the productivity of the employees that are working in the restaurant, being that most days these days in restaurants, they're a little bit shorthanded based upon the employment situation we have in the country, where this will give the employees that much more time to get the orders ready and faster before the consumer actually gets to the speaker box to place that order. Their mind will be already made up to make their order and make it that much more efficient by having these pre-menu boards, pre-information boards, I like to call them.
Okay, thank you. Will the city read the findings of fact, please?
Findings of fact for ZBA case 22-39. The appellant Allied Signs Incorporated, representing the owner McDonald's Corporation, is requesting the following from the board. Approval of 2 additional digital pre-sale menu boards. The property is located on the east side of Telegraph between 9 Mile and 10 Mile Road at 24480 Telegraph Road, Sidwell parcel 2429227-021, zoned I-1 industrial. This request is in accordance with section 8.50A, article 3, and 8.602, subsection D, article 11, chapter 99 of the Southfield Code, more commonly known as the sign ordinance. To the north, the property is zoned I-1 industrial and is currently developed with Delight Cleaners. To the south, the property is zoned I-1 industrial and is currently developed with the International Granite Showroom. To the west, across Telegraph Road, the property is zoned I-1 industrial and is currently developed with the Gordon Food Service site. To the east, separated by a 6-foot masonry wall, the property is zoned RE, single-family residential, and is an undeveloped lot along Berg Road. The site contains a total of 1.71 acres of land with parking areas to the north, south, east of the building. One separate entrance exists to the south of the site and separate exits to the north, both along Telegraph Road frontage. The ordering section of the drive-through is at the rear of the site, shielded from the major thoroughfare by the building and parking area. The site is permitted a transfer requirement from I-1 Industrial to B3 General Business Zone Special Use consisting of drive-through restaurant. This is the only section of the sign ordinance which allows for auxiliary menu board signage. This section allows for one auxiliary menu board sign at the maximum area of 35 square feet and a maximum height of 5 feet from grade that is not visible from any public street. A survey of the signage at the site reveals the following signs. One legal non-conforming due to its height, 35 square foot in area, 25 foot in height illuminated ground support sign. 132.8 square foot in area illuminated wall sign on the west elevation. 114 square foot McDonald's logo on the west elevation. 114 square foot McDonald's logo on the south elevation. 220 square foot in area, 6 foot in overall height auxiliary menu boards, assorted directional signage for drive-through, etc. There were several prohibited sign types existing on the site, not granted by ZBA case or violation of conditions of waivers at the site, including portable pre-sale menu boards near the auxiliary sign menu boards.
Okay,
I'm not done. Oh, yes, I am.
Thank you. Do you agree with those facts?
Yes, I do.
Okay, is there any other facts you'd like to add at this point?
I would just like to say that these display boards make so much sense to have in a business such as McDonald's and drive-through lanes to make it more convenient and more efficient for the consumer and the employee. I think it's a great add-on to the process of the drive-through lanes and serving the consumer.
Okay, thank you. Will the city read the staff recommendation, please?
The staff recommendation is for favorable consideration to add 2 pre-sale digital menu boards with the following conditions. The appellant agrees to eliminate any future use of banners, balloons, or balloon structures or portable signs or flags other than the United States or state of Michigan, or vehicle displaying advertising signage parked to be visible to the right-of-way as required by the ordinance. No permanent searchlights to be used to gain attention to the site or any feature of the building. All other signage at the site meets the definition of directional signage. No other temporary or permanent signage advertising products or promotions to the drive-up customer. No signage to be attached to the speaker stand or auxiliary sign on the east elevation. The owner be brought back to the board at the first available meeting if violations of these conditions are noted, as well as providing a signed and notarized letter of acknowledgement from McDonald's Corporation and any applicable franchisee agreeing to these conditions. The appellant provides a copy of these conditions to any local manager at the site and explains the consequences of the violation. These recommendations are based on the following. 2 additional pre-sale menu boards will not be a substantial detriment of the public good and without substantially impairing the intent and purpose of the ordinance. The proposed changes will be minor in nature since the menu boards are not visible from the road. Proposed sign is in keeping with the character of the surrounding area and would not have an adverse effect on the adjacent or surrounding properties. The proposed sign will not interfere with or be objectionable from the standpoint of traffic safety. And we sign notarized letters received from McDonald's corporate at any applicable franchisee.
Okay, thank you. At this point, we'll open public comment. Seeing no one here, we'll close public comment and turn it over to the board. Mr. Friedman?
I don't have any issues with the signs.
Okay. Mr. Rogers?
No, they make, oh, wow. Totally makes sense to have this additional menu signage. I would approve this.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Libet?
I have no objection.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think it's better to move to the permanent signage than the temporary signage that can blow away or, you know, can sometimes end up cockeyed and looking junky around the site. So I also agree. Mr. Rogers, will you make a motion for us?
In regard to ZBA case 22-39, the appellant Allied Signs Incorporated representing the owner, McDonald's Corporation, owner, is requesting the following from the board. Approval of 2 additional digital pre-sale menu boards. The property is located on the east side of Telegraph Road between 9 Mile and 10 Mile at 24480 Telegraph Road, Sidwell parcel number 24-29-227-021, zoned I-1 industrial. I make a motion to approve this, these 2 extra pre-menu signs based upon the following conditions. The appellant agrees to eliminate any future use of banners, balloons, or balloon structures, or portable signs or flags other than United States or State of Michigan, or vehicles displaying advertising signage parked to be visible to the right-of-way is required by ordinance. No permanent searchlights be used to gain attention to the site or any feature of the building. All other signage at the site meets the definition of directional signage. No other temporary or permanent signage advertising products or promotions to the drive-up customers. No signage be attached to the speaker stand or auxiliary sign on the east elevation. The owner be brought back to this board at the first available meeting if violations of these conditions are noted, as well as providing a signed and notarized letter of acknowledgement from McDonald's Corporate and any applicable franchisee agreeing to these conditions. The appellant provides a copy of these conditions to any local manager at the site and explains the consequences of these violations. I make this motion based upon the following. The 2 additional pre-sale menu boards will not be a substantial detriment of the public good and without substantially impairing the intent and purpose of the ordinance. The proposed changes will be minor in nature since the menu boards are not visible from the road. The proposed sign is in keeping with the character of the surrounding area and would not have an adverse effect on the adjacent or surrounding properties. The proposed signs will not interfere with or be objectionable from the standpoint of traffic safety, and a signed and notarized letter is received from McDonald's Corporate and any applicable franchisee.
All right, thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, your request is granted. I think continue to work with the city on permits and as well as the requirements in the case. So to work, notifying the manager and notifying corporate of the requirements for no.
Yes, no balloons, no temporary signs,
Yeah,
no
the
vehicles
temporary
parked in
signs, I
parking
think,
lot.
are the biggest
Yes.
thing. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Everyone, have a good evening.
Thank you. Okay, so that closes our public hearing. Next up, it looks like we have minutes from our last meeting all the way back in December. Does anybody have any concerns or changes?
No.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes from December 6th?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved. Looks like we do have a meeting in 2 weeks on February 21st with another sign case.
Yes, it's both hotels, the new hotels on Northwestern Highway near the red pole artwork.
Oh, okay. Okay, sounds good. Anybody have any miscellaneous items? Seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
All right, we are adjourned.